Wait, this thing has a credit sequence? Look, up in the sky! It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a good Arrowverse show? No, it's even better than that. It's a good Superman show. So far, at least. Unlike its predecessors, and even Superman's prior appearances before this show over the last few decades, Superman and Lois is a character-driven tale that tells the story of what happened when Lois and Clark had kids. It's not a premise you expect would be interesting. Twilight of the 30-something Gods is about as palatable on its surface as a show about Batman in a nursing home. Couple that with loads of pre-release baggage that made the show seem destined to fail, and I thought we would be getting Smallville 2.0. Arbitrary drama, fan service for the sake of fan service, and teenagers in rural America that could somehow afford to buy businesses, drive new cars, and look like fashion models. Instead, the show offers strong character work, insightful writing, teenagers who feel like real people instead of cardboard cutouts, adults with compelling problems, and the start of an interesting mystery. Jordan and Jonathan seem like they'll immediately dovetail into stereotype, the jock everyone loves and the disturbed, suicidal, angsty teen. Instead, having been raised by Clark and Lois, they both seem essentially good-hearted despite their respective difficulties. Jordan suffers from anxiety, which isn't played as a catastrophic fear of stepping outside, but rather like an anxiety disorder really plays out, where you see in his eyes that he's hiding immense fear, say when he hands Sarah his phone, but in truth he's still functional, just coping with a chemical problem. They could have hammered that nail, but they went subtle. Jonathan is a shoo-in for the most confident parts of his father's adult self, but that betrays an inner insecurity. He calls his brother a freak or a weirdo and tries to corral him more than help him at times, but it's clear that he ultimately wants the best for his brother. Clark and Lois really play as a married couple. It's less about their chemistry and more like they really seem to be two people who have known each other for a long time. Their arguments are discussions toward a pointed end. It's two adults being adults, something that a Superman story has often been loath to make of Lois and Clark in favor of will they, won't they, or love triangles that have been done to death. Every moment of the show drips of character and humanity. Clark is constantly looking to be a good father. He's sensitive, the most human alien you'll ever meet. He cries, he fears. He's the opposite of the invincible, invulnerable, and often wrathful Superman we've seen so much of over the last few decades, and it's really a breath of fresh air. Lois is warm, compassionate, and smart. Bitsy plays her with the perfect balance of a person forced into an awkward position. She's coordinating a family torn between the duties of the most powerful being in existence and her own desire to make peace among her sons and find purpose for her family. She needs more time in this first episode to develop, but what time she does have, she steals the show. And finally, Sarah, Lana's daughter. She's the opposite of the usual object of affection in these kinds of shows. She's down to earth, relatable, and has a difficult past like Jordan's. She offers his troubles something to bounce off of while offering an example of someone who came through on the other side in a town as beset as Smallville by corporate interests. The promise of Morgan Edge and Lex Luthor as villains give this show its legs, and it's my hope that the excellent execution of this first episode will carry on through. This episode gets a solid 5 out of 5 and offers a good start to the best new Superman show I've seen in many, many years.